All right, guys, and we are live with episode 6 of Take Cover podcast, and we're here with Jonathan Soshe today. What's going on, man?
Oh, not a lot. Enjoying the day. How y'all doing?
Doing pretty good. And for everyone wondering, this is Jesse Soshe's brother, but
I'm
they
not
are
his dad.
definitely not the same person. Two totally different lifestyles. If you've listened to the Soshcast,
Yeah.
But Jonathan, you've been working out for how long, man?
Started around when I was 18. Of course, I had no idea what I was doing. Didn't even know what a carbohydrate or a protein was. I was nearly 300 pounds. And like anybody, I just started with starving myself, and I learned as I went. So I'll be 34 towards the end of this month, so about 16 years.
Wow. What got you into fitness?
Well, like a lot of stories, started with a girl.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was nearly 300 pounds, had long hair, wore Kiss shirt all the time. It was, and I wasn't ashamed. But I was always the type that I like fit girls, or skinnier girls. Not beanpole skinny, but girls who are physically active and things like that.
Yeah.
And there was a girl I was working at Fazoli's at the time, and of course, a girl caught my eye, infatuated, fell in love. Like, oh yeah, here she is. But she wasn't gonna have. I knew she wasn't gonna have anything to do with me. So that's where it all started. Was I went on to a crash diet, didn't know what I was doing. I learned as I went along, and then now I just do it for me. I don't do it for someone else. But I didn't think it was fair for me to expect a girl like that, who takes care of themselves, to settle for someone, who doesn't take care of themselves.
Right.
So it's only fair that,
That'd be kind of a relationship conflict too. You'd get into the, hey, you want to go do something? No, not really.
Yeah.
Especially because typically active people want to do active things.
Exactly.
Yeah. What all gyms have you been to? Have you experimented around? I know you went to Atlantis. That's where we actually kind of met.
Yeah, I went there for 13 years. I visited a lot of gyms through the years. If a new gym opened up, gym curiosity, new equipment, new weights. But my home gym for 13 years was Atlantis Health Club, before they closed that down.
Why did they shut down?
I don't know. I know they stopped taking care of it, and a lot of people started leaving. They started going to other gyms. They went to Edge Fit when they opened up, and the sauna, to a point, it never worked anymore. There were a lot of people leaving because they weren't taking care of it.
Yeah.
And I guess he said, "Hey, let's just close it down." I've heard they wanted to make it into a daycare. I don't know if that's true or not.
That'd been cool, especially for the people working at the U.S. Bank.
Yeah, it'd been really great for y'all. But
yeah, U.S. Bank should have bought that bitch. Just made it into a daycare themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, if they were smart, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I left there to go to Planet Fitness.
that's where I'm at now.
Simply because of the newer equipment, honestly. I got tired of getting fucking rust all over my hands working out all the time.
Planet Fitness gets a bad rap, too. Oh, everything's purple. It's hammer strength equipment and Life Fitness. It's actually very good equipment. Now, the dumbbells, they don't go over 75 pounds, but the average gym goer isn't lifting more than that anyway.
Yeah.
So
I think it has a bad rep, particularly in the bodybuilding community, just because it's the Planet Fitness has like publicly put out a like no lunk thing.
Oh, yeah.
So then all the lunks are like, oh well, fuck Planet Fitness.
Yeah, you're a judgment-free zone, but you're judging the lunks.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
Yeah,
that's
so
definitely true.
You're not judgment-free then.
I've never seen the lunk alarm go off in there.
The lunk
and
alarm.
I've definitely seen.
I've never
some
been in there.
lunks
What is
there.
the lunk alarm?
It's a big fucking alarm on the wall. I mean, it's literally an alarm.
What is
It's got a light? And
what is it
it's
for?
For like if you're in there smacking weights together and grunting and like ripping your shirt off and. They have a picture as you walk in, and it's like, what's the guy's name in the? I don't know. We'll say it's Chase because you're.
Oh,
yeah. You're definitely a lump.
Clearly a
yeah. But they're like, Chase has a cut off tank top. Chase has a gallon of water.
Yeah.
Chase has this. Chase has like the stereotypical like bodybuilder.
No
guy.
legs, but all upper body.
Yeah,
All right.
and it's like, don't be like Chase. Pretty much is like that.
I gotcha.
Thing.
And the alarm goes off whenever somebody feels threatened?
Yeah, I don't know.
They
I've never seen it go off.
No, well, it's a manual. When I first went there, I thought, oh, there's something in the pads. If you make too much weight or too much noise, I'm over here trying to be quiet. Oh, don't clink anything together, So, but no, it's actually a switch up at the desk, and if they see somebody getting into it a little too much, then they, hit the alarm, come talk to you, give you a written warning. But from what I understand, typically the only people. The one time their alarm went off, it was now granted, this is a gym supposed to be for, people who are not in shape and, no judgment-free zone. And there was a girl that was overweight from what I hear, and she was running on a treadmill and making a lot of noise, and they actually kicked her out. I'm like, isn't that the person you're appealing to? I mean...
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
So I don't know of any actual bodybuilders that have had a ring on them. So
The only thing I came into a problem there with is... they don't have any like free bars to do deadlifts with.
No, they don't.
They just have those fixed bars.
Yeah, the Smith machine. So it makes it very hard for squats.
Yeah,
and
it's not that difficult though. You just move the bench and lower that bitch all the way down. That's the only way I can do it.
You can, but it's still not the same as just a real. I'll get with some buddies of mine and we'll go to Edge Fit or another gym to actually do deadlifts.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the full free weights.
It is nice for like, because you got to realize their target audience isn't bodybuilders.
No.
Their target audience is specifically like just the everyday person who's trying to get a little more fit in their daily life. Yeah. So what? Okay, so for everybody out there who has this idea of fitness, what would you define fitness as?
It's a lifestyle. It's not something you do every now and then. All these, you have so many fad diets and fad workout programs. Fitness is a lifestyle. It's changing how you. It's a 24/7 thing. It's how you eat. Now that doesn't mean you don't eat cheeseburgers. It doesn't matter how healthy you are. You're going to die eventually. So I'm going to eat a cheeseburger if I want a cheeseburger or pizza. It's just, but 80% of what I eat is pretty clean, and it's working out, taking care of yourself. For me specifically, it's bodybuilding. For other people, it's powerlifting or yoga or CrossFit, which I could go on an entire tangent about that. But it's being a fit lifestyle, active lifestyle that is with healthy eating. Basically, for me to define it, that's what I define it as.
I gotcha. How do you stay up to date on all that shit? Like you just named it, like yoga, CrossFit, shit like that. How do you do you just hear about it at the gym? Do you read up on it?
I read and study. If anybody watched the Soshe cast with Jesse, you know that we were homeschooled, and I learned to enjoy learning if it's something I'm interested in.
Yeah.
So as far as like podcasts. And finding different, there's so much bad information. And I was talking to him earlier about there's what we call a lot of bro science, a lot of stuff out there that's completely wrong, not backed by science, but this has just been stuff that's going around in the gym for years. So I find good reputable people and talk to them. I'm friends with a lot of some pro bodybuilders and competitors. I talk to them, and there's the internet. I mean, it's a wonderful resource. You can find, filter through it and don't believe everything you read. But after a while, after you've learned enough, you can filter through what's fake and what's real. So
yeah,
and books. There's endless books too. So
I've been hearing a lot like that. Typically, what I was hearing was just like yoga was like, oh, it's a woman's thing. It's a woman's thing. But here recently, I've been hearing a lot about like dudes doing it.
Yeah.
For just like core strength and
balance,
yeah, all
tendon,
that shit,
muscle strength, everything,
Exactly.
flexibility.
Yeah.
And can't hurt, right?
right? Yeah, it seems to be getting more and more popular.
Yeah.
Have you tried it? What's your opinion on it?
I've never done yoga, but I've done a lot of. I do a lot of stretches and things like that. I'm this far from being able to do the splits, so it's and that's it's important to stretch and be flexible, especially if you're building muscle upon muscle. It kind of you always talk about the guy, so big they can't wipe their own butt. I don't want to be that guy. Which I'm not going to take steroids. I'm not going to get that big. But the more you build your muscles, you do lose flexibility, and I don't want to lose that. So a lot of different stretches and things like that. So I don't do actual yoga poses or yoga class. Maybe I need to. I might meet somebody there. I don't know. But yeah. So it's just for me. It's just a lot of stretches and trying to take care of myself, keeping myself mobile.
Yeah. How do you wake up every morning, every day, and go to the gym? Is it just
Well, I go after work.
Okay. So
I
you don't go
before,
first thing in the morning?
No, I get up at 4:30 in the morning to go to work. I'm not about to make that getting up at 2:30 in the morning to go to the gym. And plus, I'm just even with a pre-workout, I'm groggy going in first thing in the morning. I haven't had any food. And which that is a style of cardio, is doing a fasted cardio when you first get up in the morning. I'm not a fan of it. I don't function well on it. My first thing is getting up and getting nutrition in my body and getting myself started for the day, and then going to my meals at work, and then my pre-workout meal, and then my workout. So
I gotcha. So that would you recommend that to like other people just trying it in the afternoon, or you just like do whatever?
That's how my body functions. Some people, they do better if they work out in the morning. Go with what your body is, what your body likes. So
yeah. What about getting through the winter? That's like the hardest. That's the hardest time. You got the holidays. It's cold outside. They're like, I'll go on a bike ride. I'll take a jog around the neighborhood. I'll walk with the dogs. But when winter comes, man, fuck that.
well, I'm not going to be outside. So other than taking my dog out for a walk, cause I have to take him out. He's an inside dog. But I'm going in the gym, so it's just that cold period from the car to the gym. Mm-hmm. So once I get in there, I'll be warmed up.
Yeah.
So.
What do you think? If you had to pick one and say, this is for sure the most important, cardio or strength training?
Nutrition above both.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
So,
you cannot
either.
out-train a bad diet. You can literally eat yourself healthy. If you could eat a bodybuilder's diet, and even you'd want to work out, but even if you didn't, you could completely change your body strictly by eating the right way. But as far as if you want to change your body, strength training above all else. Cardio, say you do 30 minutes of cardio, your metabolic rate, your metabolism will be up for about another 30 minutes after you're done. Where if you strength train with weights, your metabolic rate will be up for another 24 hours. So just in a burning calories, which is your goal, weight training above all else. My dad was been a diabetic pretty much his whole life. And he had a couple years ago, he had a quadruple bypass. And after he recovered, he finally started actually weight training. All these years I've been telling him, you need to weight train. You need to weight train. He exercised, took walks, ate healthy. But I finally got him into weight training, and his blood sugar went down, his blood pressure went down. And weight training changes everything. It's way better than just typical cardio, because if you are weight training, your heart rate's going to get up anyway. So you're getting a cardio. So you might as well, if you had to pick one, go with the weight training after nutrition. If you're just going to eat McDonald's all the time, just don't waste your time.
Don't waste your time. Yeah, don't bother going to the gym if
Yeah.
you're just gonna eat McDonald's afterwards or
Yeah, exactly.
fat pizza, something like that.
Which I've done it. I'm not gonna lie, but
Yeah.
it shouldn't be your everyday thing.
See, that's the struggle with cardio in particular, because I mean I'm a pretty heavy guy, right? But if I go to the gym and I fucking just smash cardio, I'm just on the treadmill the whole time, running, walking, getting my heart rate up, slowing down, whatever I'm doing. When I leave, I'm dying for some food.
Yep.
And that usually leads to
McDonald's
binging.
is right there.
Yeah, binging on whatever.
Yep.
I mean, hell, you see McDonald's on the way home, or I mean, more than a couple times, me and my buddy Zach have stopped at like Taco Bell on the way home. And it's like, okay, well, we literally just defeated the point of the last 2 hours of our life.
Right. Well, that's where post-workout nutrition comes in, taking a protein shake with you and a simple carb source. And that will kind of knock off the hunger for you to get home and actually get, food in your system. But no, it's hard.
Yeah.
There are days I get out of the gym. Yeah, I've got, Arby's and all that. And if you do it smart, you can have something like that. Like going to Arby's and getting the roast beef, just, don't eat the bread. That's lean red meat.
Yeah, I've done that a lot.
So.
I love Arby's.
Yeah. The half pound.
I do.
The half pound sandwich they got. It's a lot of protein. And
Put
it's
that
lean.
bitch in a bowl. I'm telling you. I don't know if you. I'm sure you have. I've been doing the low carb like keto thing.
Yep.
And I've had pretty good results on it. I've dropped like 45-ish some odd pounds now. And basically that is literally just avoiding carbs at all costs. And it's like high fat, low carb, basically.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
And I've had pretty good results with that. But a lot of people, I don't know, people a lot will be, well, what are you doing, man? How do you do it? 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 How do you do it?
Yeah, what's the
And it's
secret?
like, I'm like,
what pill are you
like,
taking?
Listen. All right. It is literally the easiest thing. I have not been in the gym one time since I started doing this.
Yep.
And I've dropped weight. And it's simply because I don't go over 20 carbs a day.
Yep, exactly. You
And-
stay in
and-
ketosis.
Right. And it's really, really simple. But then like, oh, well, that's easy. What has carbs in it? I'm like, everything. You love. Everything you love, say bye.
Yeah.
But for me, especially, like, it started out as more of, it's a diet. And now it's kind of gone into more of, this is just how I eat. Because we were at Roadhouse the other day, and I tried to eat a roll, and Lacey, my wife, she keeps me on track really good.
That's good.
So, before I even reached for her, I was like, "Can I try like a bite of that?" And she's like, "Yeah, I mean, we're out to eat, So I tried a bite of it, and I don't even like it.
Yep.
I don't even like bread anymore.
Right.
Seriously, like bread tastes disgusting to me. Like pizza, I don't like it anymore. Shit like that. It's super weird how your body curbs your appetite on its own after a little while.
It does, and that's one of the biggest points I try to make about any type of fitness, whether you're working out or a diet change, is that once you've done it for a couple weeks, that just becomes your life. It's second nature to you. It's getting over those first couple hurdles, especially even like working out. People say, I just can't do it. I can't get into it. I can't do it. If you'll do it consistently for a couple weeks, you'll feel bad when you don't do it. Not, I feel bad about myself, but as far as your body will crave that activity.
Yeah.
So
And with working out, you release like dopamine, right?
yes, yeah, you had
Endorphins and shit?
Yeah, it's a best anti-stress reliever you can get.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's nuts. And especially, this is the kicker. I'll tell them, like no bread, no pasta, shit like that. But then when I say no soda, boom, done.
yeah,
Nobody can do it now.
Yeah,
But it's like
it's the hardest one for people to give up.
I've never been a big soda guy ever. They've always given me stomach aches. I've never really cared for them.
Yeah, they always gave me stomach. It's just that sugar load with that carbonated. It's terrible for you. And like,
I mean, you could clean a battery terminal with Coca-Cola. I mean, you really think it's good for your stomach? I mean,
and hell, like for anybody, I'm gonna put it in perspective a little bit. Earlier, I said for what I'm doing in particular, and always like if you're a diabetic or something, don't do this without checking with your doctor. But so I don't go over 20 carbs a day, but I'm also a healthy, able-bodied young man, whatever.
Right.
But to put it in perspective, a Coca-Cola, just like one can of Coke, has like 76 carbs or something stupid in it. So that's over 3 times my allowed daily limit.
There's like one piece of whole wheat bread, depending on what brand it is, that's like 12 carbs. So that puts it in perspective.
Corn's awful. A lot of fruits are awful. But at least with fruits, you're getting like more natural sugar.
You're getting the fructose instead of the glucose.
Yeah. But hell, we could talk for hours on that shit.
Yeah, I mean, when you first started, because you said you were up to what, like 300 pounds? You
Almost
said
300 pounds.
Under 300 pounds. Like, what was the moment where you finally said, you know what? Like you said, you had an issue with a girl, and then after that, did it just the momentum started and didn't stop, or did you have parts where you're like, I just can't do this anymore, or whatever?
When did that level of dedication kick in? That's what I want to know, because that's the hardest groove to get into. You have to dedicate yourself.
Well, when you're in love, no, I'm just
kidding.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I was in denial for a long. I was a big guy. I admit it. No, I'm a big guy. I never saw myself as fat. Let's be real here. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what I was. I mean, I can show you a picture right here. I keep it in my wallet.
Anybody who's listened to this podcast before probably doesn't have sensitive feelings.
Yeah. I would hope not. But so it was the awakening moment of realizing, wow, yeah, I'm fat. I need to do something about it. Like, and at first it started off with just I wanted this girl to be interested in me. So, I've got to drop weight. Like I said, I had long hair, so I cut my hair. I stopped wearing my kids' shirts. And started wearing nicer, preppy type clothes.
Yeah.
But then it just developed from there. I started going to the gym. I started getting books, started getting magazines and reading, and it just developed and developed. And I kept with the mindset of lose weight, lose fat. And I got to the point that I weighed 145, which for my frame I looked like a scarecrow. I looked sick. And I got to the point then I went from not thinking I was fat to always thinking I was fat. And it didn't matter how ripped I got. It was almost anorexia. Now I ate all healthy, but I could never lose enough till again I saw a picture of myself and like, wow, something's wrong. And even then, I kept it. But what it was, I was at Atlantis Health Club. I would work out with weights, but I'd be on the elliptical more than anything else. And a guy had came in that I'd worked with when I worked at Wendy's as a teenager. Of course, I was big then. This guy came in. He's like, Soshe, is that you? Like, yeah, man. We got to talking. We'd see each other about every day. We went in about the same time. And there was one day he flat came up to me and said, because he had been talking to me, hey, man, you need to stop that cardio stuff and just bodybuild. And he came up to me and said, get off and come back here. And that's when I was probably 21, 22 about that time. That's when bodybuilding took over and I began learning. And it just, like I said, it's become part of my life. And I just learn.
Did you feel like you had to leave certain people and hobbies behind, that came with the lifestyle that you had before you really started to take your health seriously?
No, other than I just didn't eat out anymore. I wouldn't eat fast food. I'd went a whole year without eating any fast food at all. And I lived in town at that time, and I moved out. I was going out to my mom and dad's, and I hadn't eaten anything. I was like, well, McDonald's ain't gonna hurt me that bad. I haven't eaten that long. No, it made me
It'll fuck you
sick.
up.
I mean, my body was like, what did you just put in me? And I was like, wow, that's shows just how many toxins are really in that.
Yeah. Man, I went one time for 2 months without eating fast food, just 2 months, and now I was craving it. Yeah. I mean, but you only crave something. That's what a lot of people don't realize. So you only crave something for a week or two, and then your body gets right the fuck over it.
It figures out something else to crave.
That was the hardest thing with getting into keto as well, because my body craves sugar like no other. I mean, like it will literally put you to where you feel like you have a flu. Yeah. And that they call it keto flu for a reason. It sucks, but yeah, dude, I just went 2 months without eating McDonald's, and I think I just got a burger from there. I didn't even get fries or anything. I just got a burger, and I shit my brains out, dude. Yep. It was insane. It'll fuck you up.
Yeah. Well, and for a lot of people, they don't know what ketosis is and keto. What it is.
It's basically wwhere your body just switches from eating sugar to using your fat.
To using fat, because your cells have something called the mitochondria, and this takes either glucose, which comes from carbs, or fats, which are turned into ketones, and uses one or the other for energy. Well, the glucose that comes from carbs is the easiest source for that to use. So that's what it's going to take the path of least resistance. So when you eat, and that's the American diet, high in fats and high in carbs, it's going to take those carbs, convert that, and use that. And while it's doing that, it's going to say, hey, what do I do with this fat? Because your body can only use one energy source at a time. So it will take that fat and store it into a fat cell while it's...
Because it spikes your insulin.
Exactly.
And that's
that insulin will drive
job.
it. Yeah, yes. It's a nutrient driver. It will take the proteins that are broke down to amino acids to muscles. It'll take the glucose to fill the glycogen levels in your muscles and energy. And takes the fat to fat cells if you have carbs in your system. So when you remove those sugars and those carbs, and especially for the American diet, why it's so hard on Americans to go into ketosis is because we've eaten so many carbs so long that our mitochondria have almost forgotten how to burn
body fat,
body fat for energy. So you're during that with the keto flu, your mitochondria is relearning how. Oh, hey, we got fat here. We can use fat. So that's when you drop into ketosis, and your body just eats away at fat.
And it does it fucking
Good.
quick.
Yep.
And it's very, very
and
efficient.
it shows you just how much energy your body needs to be able to burn that much fat.
It's weird too because especially talking to people who haven't heard of it before, we've all been told. Everybody in this room has been told to lose weight, eat low fat.
Yeah,
that's what you've been told for ages. That's what everyone's been told, and it's literally been proven to be a scam by the sugar industry. Mm-hmm. But and you guys can definitely look that up. That's
no, it is. I could go on a tangent about that.
Yeah. So
sugar is what's killing people, not fats.
Yeah. So then think about it, dude. Fat has been in the diet forever
from the beginning.
From the beginning, you got nuts
since agricultural revolution.
Yeah, it's loads of fat and meat. But anyway, so and your body processes ketones far more efficiently than it ever thought about processing carbs. Yep. It's just
carbs are essentially a new thing as far as history goes.
Yeah, in the timeline of humanity, especially.
And a good point to make that is that you have essential fatty acids that your body needs. You have essential amino acids that your body needs. There are no essential carbs. Mm-hmm. You could literally live your entire life and never eat carbs. So that's something to consider too. That fats aren't the enemy here. It's sugars and carbs.
Yeah, I dropped 20 pounds in a month.
Yep.
Just not eating carbs.
Yep.
That's fucking insane.
Yep.
And this is I'm a guy who's felt like I've tried everything under the sun. Yep. I've tried all the pills.
Yep.
None of the pills fucking work.
Yep.
I'm telling anybody out there right now who's thinking about buying another $40 fucking bottle of pills.
It's a waste.
It is a waste of time. It'll make you feel jittery as fuck, and then you'll crash, and that's all it'll do. But I've been doing. I've been mixing keto with intermittent fasting. Have you read up on that? Mm-hmm. It's basically, and for anybody, it's like, oh, fasting, that's scary. No, it's not. Basically, you just set yourself a window of time. It keeps you more disciplined. I think that's the biggest part of it. It keeps you more disciplined. So, like, I eat once at 12 o'clock and I eat once at 4 o'clock. I don't eat in the morning, and that's just my personal beliefs. A lot of people do eat in the morning. It's however you want to do it. I just feel like going back to humanity's beginnings, you wake up and you're in the wild, you don't immediately have a food source. And that's my opinion, right? So if I was an early being, then I would have to get up and I would have to go find food before I was able to consume the food.
Right.
So that's my opinion. And it was working well, right? So I don't know. I would definitely, anybody who's out there struggling to lose weight, eating low fat diets, look at the back and see how many carbs that bitch has on it.
Yeah. Well, and even the thing people are eating they buy the low fat peanut butter, which is stupid. You need to buy the all natural peanut butter that has a lot of fats in it, that has the omega 3 fatty acids in it. But even the low fat or fat free stuff, they put sugar in it to make it taste better. And sugar's in everything. It's in your French fries. It's in your bread. I mean, what's the deal? Unless it's a scam, why are they putting sugar in everything? Unless they, which I'm a big kind of a conspiracy theorist type person. I mean, the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, wouldn't it make sense if we put things in your food to make you sick, and so I could sell you a drug that you got to take the rest of your life? By the way, when's the last time they cured anything?
I wonder if Jeremy Dreyhus was here, what he'd have to say about this.
But there's no money in a cure. Why would they want to cure something? Let's make you sick and get you on pills the rest of your life, and you could be my slave the rest of your life.
Absolutely, yeah. So. It sucks, dude. But anyway, moving on because I'll go
Yeah,
on a fucking rant. I'll go on a
all
rant.
night. Yeah.
Well, I want to know one thing. We've kind of been exposed now to the issues with that sugar has caused with people's diets and switching to a low-fat diet and how damaging it can be. I don't know, but I did want to ask you, since we were having you in here, what are your opinions on salt in your diet? Is it as dangerous as most people make it out to be? Because I've heard both sides. I've heard people say that sodium it's extremely detrimental to your health, and then I've heard things where it also has things that are very essential to
you need sodium.
It is an essential mineral.
Yeah, exactly.
Salt is an essential mineral.
It's an electrolyte. So you need sodium. I will tell you this, and I'll tell everybody out there right now. Whatever your regular table salt, throw it out. Yeah, no, it's not good for you. Sea salt, that's a better option, but the best one, and ever since I tried this, I use no other salt, and I don't use a whole lot of salt, but this is the only thing I put on my steak other than I mince up fresh garlic. But it's Himalayan pink sea salt. It has more minerals than any other, and it's just amazing.
It sounds expensive.
For salt, yeah, you're probably looking $7-8 for a grinder. But it's just
that'll last a while though.
It does,
yeah.
because you don't. That's another. You don't use nearly as much as you would, of table salt.
Mm-hmm.
But it's amazing.
I read up on that a lot too, as far as the salt shit goes, because I love salt. I'll put salt on everything. I fucking love it. I've been addicted to salt since I was like 3 years old. I mean, anybody who knows me will tell you.
Yeah.
I got so bad when I was eating fast food that I would get like my McDonald's, and I'd have a tray in front of me, and I would take like 4 or 5 packets, rip it open, and pour it on the tray, and I would dip my burger in it. I'd dip my fries in it. Dog, I was insane about some salt.
Some salt with the side of food.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what I read essentially said if you're like a young, able-bodied person, salt's not that big of a deal.
No.
It's not a big deal at all. You can eat a lot of it, and it wouldn't do anything to you because your body's able to process and it's able to flush it. Now, as you get older and your blood pressure rises naturally, it can be a little more detrimental because your organs are getting a little older and they're not able to process things as efficiently as you once were. So maybe later on down the line, if I continue eating as much salt as I do now, I might have high blood pressure, get a stroke, something like that. But as for now, I'm going to keep eating the fuck out of it. Right. So, but go ahead.
You're not getting any carbs, you might as well eat the salt. Right?
Is that a Himalayan pink salt? Is that the same thing that those lamps are made out of?
It's the exact same thing. I'm not even kidding. No, it is.
I believe it.
Salt lamps.
That's the exact same thing. They come from the Himalayan mines, and where it came from, because the people who were living in those mines. Now, granted, these people, keep in mind, they're not eating McDonald's and Hot Pockets. Okay,
right,
they have clean diets, but they were living for so long. Their skin was so healthy, and what in the world's going on? And the Himalayan pink sea salt itself, I have a friend. She's a professional IFBB. Women's physique competitor, and she will take it just straight up and put it in water and drink it because of the minerals, and it helps absorption of your nutrients and hydration. It really the science is there. It backs it up. Now I don't know about putting the lamp in your house. I'm probably not going to do that.
That's probably BS.
But give me a shaver, I'll shave some off and put it on my steak. So
I wondered. I just saw one of those the other day when you said pink Himalayan salt, and I was like,
I've seen that.
Is that the salt lamp with the positive ions? I'm like, I don't know about that, but
I don't know if that aspect works. But as far as on your food,
I might as well just take a lick out of it every time they light it.
I wonder if there's anything to that. I really doubt it, but I feel like, I don't know. I mean, I've read a bunch of stuff. There's a place, because I'm asthmatic. I've been since I was born or whatever. But there's a place where asthmatics can go and you like chill in this salt cave, and it's supposed to like have outstanding effects on your asthma.
Yeah.
So, but that's also a salt cave compared to a desktop little salt thing with a light bulb in it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a little different. But anyway, back to your personal story and goals. What kind of goals did you first set for yourself? Like when you first got into your 300 pounds, you wanted to lose some weight. What kind of goals did you have, and how did you set forth the motion to achieve them?
Well, the first one, I wanted to just drop weight. Just drop weight. And I was starving myself. I ate one meal a day. I worked full-time at Fazoli's 8 hours a day. And I would go home at night and walk 4 miles a night. And on my days off, I would walk 8 miles. Mm-hmm. I just needed, hey, I needed this girl to notice me, so I've got to just drop weight. And that's what it was, drop
That's
weight.
insane, dude. I literally did the exact same thing. That's no, seriously, that's insane. I ate 1 meal a day. I was still in high school, and just peer pressure and bullying from high school.
Which, by the way, is a complete wrong way to do it. If I could go back,
because I blew up like a fucking balloon afterwards. When I started eating again,
you destroy your metabolism. Your thyroid almost shuts down. It's absolutely the wrong way to do it. So
I got down to about 145. Which actually, you said you got. Wow, that's weird. And I can show you pictures, dude. I looked super weird, but it was like you said, when you look at yourself, you're like, I could definitely lose more weight.
Yeah.
You know, you'll always view yourself that way. So yeah, that's definitely weird. And I definitely I had a walking app, and that was my goal, was 4 miles a day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's weird.
Well, yeah, this is
that's
awkward.
super weird. But so you just started eating 1 meal a day, cut a bunch of fucking weight. You got there. What was the next step?
That was, well, over the course of it took a couple of years as far as getting down to the 145. Like I said, by that time I had started learning and reading and learning actually about nutrition, water carbs, water proteins, and those things. But it was still always that mindset of just trying to cut weight until, like I said, the guy I knew, he came back there and literally pulled me off of the elliptical and said, "Hey, you're basically gonna be a bodybuilder now." I was like, okay, cool, and then from then it's like, okay, I want to put on muscle. I've never had a goal like, well, I want to be here by this time. A lot of people do, but that's not me. Just because I know that fitness is a lifelong journey. I know my arms. I set a goal back when I lost all that weight. My arms were 13 inches around, and I set the goal to I want to be at 18 inches. I read an article one time that said that for a guy who's 5'7", a towering 5'7", such as myself, the 18-inch arms are pretty big. So that is a goal of mine. Like me, I'm stuck at 17, have been for a while. But that's the only real goal I've ever had. Just other than I just want to get the muscle bigger. Okay, especially because there's a little bit of bulking. It's hard over the past year, I've learned a lot more as far as how to do a leaner bulk instead of just bulk up real big, try to lose fat, bulk up real, because it's really bad to put on, especially if you already lost a lot of fat. Think of a fat cell like a rubber band. You take it and you stretch it out and you hold it there for years and let it go. It's not going to go back down to the size that it was. Mm-hmm. And once it's stretched out that far, that fat cell wants to be fat again. It wants to be filled again. So it's very hard, because I'd gotten to the point that I was about 185, 190. I had some muscle on me. I was lean. I looked great. Life happened. My job got shipped to Mexico. First Camaro I had got totaled out. The girl I'd been with for a couple of years broke up with me. So I fell off, and I ended up gaining around 245, getting back up to 245. So it was very hard. Oh my God, I got to take that weight back off. And ever since then, I've not been able to get as lean as I was before. And I've kind of reconciled that that's probably just the way it's going to be. And that's because I'm not looking to step on any stages. So. Yeah. Like I said, I'm going to eat a cheeseburger if I want to. Yeah. But I will always want to have bigger muscles and be a little bit leaner. So that's always just my goal. I eat towards that. I monitor myself, take pictures, Mm-hmm. So it's just, I want 18-inch arms. And then, as far as on my chest and back grow pretty well.
The Soshe triceps are like nothing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm genetically blessed there. I can give you that.
Soshe, the little Soshe, Jesse Soshe, also has giant triceps and shoulders. Yep. You guys have ridiculously built triceps and shoulders.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, they're fucking massive. Go ahead, show Chase.
I guess that'd be my tricep there.
Look at that.
The lucky horseshoe.
Yeah.
The lucky horseshoe.
Yeah. What is it? It's shaped like a horseshoe.
This is very different.
Well, actually, my left one's bigger.
It is, dude. They're insane. And like Jesse Soshe doesn't work out ever anymore.
No, if he would, at one time he
got into
fitness.
The
military, and he would look very good. He could be, especially because he's shorter than me, so that's less mass that he has to put on. He could be an absolute pit bull if he would discipline himself and do it. Mm-hmm. But whatever. He smokes now. He's a mechanic and he smokes.
Man, I tried to everything I could do to get him to stop smoking before he picked up the habit for good.
Yeah, no, I don't know who got him into that, 'cause I'd love to smack him.
I think he got himself into it. I think it was his I'm an adult now.
Yeah, watching me
how I'm going to be an adult type. Yeah, something like that. Plus, it kind of helps him blend in a social situation. Almost.
No, it does. Yeah. If you're a socially awkward person, like going outside, smokers have a camaraderie for some reason.
They sure do.
Yeah. Like, what's up with y'all? Why are y'all weird?
So, what would you say so far in your fitness journey has been your biggest success, and what's been your biggest failure, and how'd you move past that failure?
My biggest success was learning how to get my chest to grow. I have, which Jesse has the same thing, rare genetic disorder called cleidocranial dysplasia. One of the many problems with it is that my collarbones did not grow into my shoulders. Like here, I can literally put my finger under my collarbone, so my shoulders can come out in front of me.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Like that. So where they're supposed to be back here, yeah. Welcome to the freak show.
Go ahead, do that again.
See?
Oh, wow.
So, and because of that and the way the muscles attach, it was very hard for me to get my chest to grow. And plus, genetics does play a role too. So, I took a lot of research. I found Ben Paklaski, his MI40 program, and really learning how to focus on using the muscle. We go, especially because it's a compound movement, meaning you're using more muscles than one. You're doing a bench press. You're using your shoulders, your triceps, a little bit of your lats. So that really, I learned how to activate my chest. And once I've done that, it popped.
Yeah.
So that's probably been my biggest success as far as actually finally learning how to get this stupid thing to grow. My biggest failure was I regret that I ever let. I found that hard spot in life that I just told you about. That I let that knock me off the wagon. I hate that. And if I could go back, I wish I could. Which if I could really go back, I would have gone back to myself at 13 years old and said, "Hey, you're on your way to being really fat. Stop it and learn how to
get in front of this thing."
Yeah. So, but live and learn. So. I just deal with whatever. There's no change in it, So I'll do better now.
Right. Being up there at the 300-pound mark, I got up to 270 myself,
Wow.
And I'm down to in the 220s now.
Yeah.
And one thing I'm experiencing now, and I don't know if you have, and that's why I'm asking this question particularly. Did you get stretch marks, and how long does it take? So you haven't got rid of them?
I'm covered.
That's what I'm
here's with stretch marks. They are treatable before they reach kind of a white phase. But that time, if they're still kind of a pinkish color, there's things you can do medically you can do. But once they reach that kind of whitened out phase, that's a scar now. There's no fixing that without getting the skin just cut off. So, but yeah, no, my shoulders are covered in stretch marks. My chest somewhat, and then as far as of course, love handles and things like that.
Yeah.
But no,
I gotcha. I read online that obviously it takes time for your skin to shrink back down when you shrink. And a couple things you can do is right after a shower while your skin's absorbing things, you can rub lotion on it.
I've done that for years.
Particular lotion or something.
Yeah,
Maybe
believe me, I've tried every lotion, every cream, everything that the It Works scam that was out there. Sorry for any listeners out there.
There's still a bunch of people selling that shit.
Yeah. No, and that's exactly what it is. I'm sorry, it doesn't work. Okay,
it's a pyramid scheme. Yeah, most of those things don't work.
Yeah, but I've literally tried everything, and there was something maybe lightened it up better. But as far as straight up getting rid of it, unless it's in that fresh pinkish stage, you need to see a dermatologist, and there's some things they can do. But once it reaches that whitened stage where it's not pink anymore, then you're done. You're stuck with it unless you get it cut off. So
I was pretty big for about 2 years. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything to be done. But
even hey, you're married, so
yeah.
Who
do I have to impress?
I'm not. So don't leave my shirt on. No, don't look at this. Especially the loose skin too. I have a lot of loose skin. It's disgusting, but it's part of it.
Yeah, it happens. So what do you you go into the gym? What's your pre-workout game? Do you drink something? Do you stretch out?
Well, first nutrition. My last break at work is typically around, depending on if I take the regular time or late time, it's about 12:30 or 12:45, and then excuse me. So at that point I eat from the morning, and the first couple meals it's always fats and proteins, and then the meal before my workout I eat carbs because I'm going to be weight training. I need that to be able to use my muscles to the full extent and really tax them out. It's carbs and proteins. And then I get off work at 2:15. I'm driving to the gym. It's 15 minutes away. I do take a pre-workout, and then go in there and work. I use several different pre-workouts. So there's so many different ones out there. Some people swear by, oh, this is great. I've taken it. It done nothing for me, but about put me to sleep. And so it's really finding one that works for you. And if you're just starting out, don't go for the extreme. Like you'll
C4. I've seen a lot of people use that one.
Muscle Farm.
That would be Kool-Aid to me. That's I'm kind of at the next level. I'm at the hardest stuff. It's a 1,3-dimethylene, a DMAA. It's very gray area. the research is out there that it works, it's good, but at the same time they're like, oh no, it works too good, we need to get rid of it.
Okay.
But there are still some supplements out there that still have it. But if you're new to it, do not go straight to that, because it is a wow, man. I've never done meth or anything, but it's definitely let's do it. Like, I'm gonna lift everything you have. Yeah.
Would you say that pre-workouts are a good thing or a bad thing? Do you become dependent on them? Can you perform the same in the gym without it as you can if you drink one? So if you ran out, would you think, is it just an energy boost?
It wouldn't be the same.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be.
You don't
the
think
same.
so? Wouldn't be able to put out the same amount of energy.
Well, if
and
I
effort?
got in there and got going, I could probably I can do this. But now I've been doing it for so long, I would say that, and I hate to say this, but as far as I don't say I'm dependent, but I'm reliant on it. But especially now, I'm older, and by the end of the day, even though my job isn't that hard, I'm tired.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for that pre-workout, I'm driving by and going. So
going to take a nap.
But that's might be something worth trying as far as actually go in there without it and actually get into the working out. Which without it, I wouldn't get the pump that I get because I don't have those ingredients, and I wouldn't have the mental focus that I do because I don't have the ingredients. So it for me, it is beneficial.
I gotcha. What about music? You think music is good?
Oh, absolutely. That was a godsend for me for the longest time. You'll see people, and this was years ago. See all these people listening to music, like, man, you just look weird, And so I just had a little Walkman CD player, and it's now I think it was really stupid. But I put a CD in it and put it down in my pocket, and of course you hit it with weight, it'd skip. And, I put my headphones in. But when I first started listening to music while I worked out, it changed everything. and it does. Even now, there's a meme. It shows the wrestler Hulk Hogan, and it shows him down, kind of knocked down on the mat, and his head's bleeding. And then it says when your song comes on in the gym, and he shows him ripping off his shirt. And that's exactly what it is. That song. There's specific types of music that I don't listen to all types of music, but something that's upbeat. And if I know I'm coming up on a hard set that's going to be a drop set or a rest pause or something like that, I may even go to YouTube. If I'm clicking through my Pandora or whatever and can't come up with a good song, I'll go to one that I know will get me pumped, and it does for me because I'm a huge music lover anyway. Music is always playing in my car, in my house, or whatever. So for me, it was a game changer.
I gotcha. What about stretching? I read a couple of different things. I've read, obviously, everyone says stretch it out. It's good for you. It gets you limbered up. But then I've also read, especially from runners, so it may just be a runner's thing, but I've read that your muscles are supposed to be in place where they're at. And when you stretch them out, you can injure yourself.
Exactly.
Is that what you think?
That's the one thing that me and runners agree on. Is that, okay, it's back to kind of the rubber band thing. The same with your muscle cells. Okay, you take a cold muscle cell, or muscle fiber, I should say, and you're sitting there trying to stretch it out. It's like the rubber band. You pull it out, it's losing some of the strength. When do you ever take a rubber band, sit there and hold it and stretch it out before you try to wrap something up? I mean, you might stretch a little bit. You'll kind of warm it up. You absolutely warm the muscle up. Use lighter weight. Do some contraction movements and warm that muscle up. But no, don't stretch that thing out because you're not going to get the effectiveness out of it as if you had just warmed it up. And then stretch towards the end of it. That's when stretching comes. And plus, it will help with the pump too towards the end. You have a layer of your muscle called your fascia tissue, or fascia, and you can either do a hard stretch or you can just like a deep tissue massage, like in your arm, take your thumb and just dig in there and open up that tissue, and your muscle will expand that much more. And you'll, oh wow, I just got a pump just off of rubbing my arm. And you can sit here and probably do it right now, just sitting there doing a hard rub on your arm, and you'll, oh wow, my arm's bigger, So, but yeah, stretching, but towards the end of the workout. So, but
Really?
it's
Stretch after is what you're saying.
Yep.
Okay.
More like movement and what you're saying rather than just, let me bend over and hold my toes for, like 30 seconds and then switch over to the other one. Because, I mean, I guess it's different for everybody. Some people are naturally like, that's no big deal. Yeah. They do it anyways. But because I feel like, I don't know, there's been times where I've lifted or went and worked out and I didn't stretch, and I feel like I performed worse than if I did. I guess it's like what you said. You kind of got to do some like warm up.
You do need to warm them, warm the muscle
right.
up. Don't just go in there straight lifting, because that's what a lot of people you may mistake that. Well, I was stretching. Well, what you were stretching, but you're essentially warming that muscle up too through the stretching, allowing blood.
But that's
to get
not
in.
the most effective way to warm up your muscles.
Actually, use that muscle and get the blood because stretching it will get blood into your muscle. Well, warming up using a warm up set for your muscle will get blood in it too. So you would have gotten the same effects. As
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I guess I never asked though.
Yeah, well, and most people, and that's one of those bro science things. Oh, stretch before you work out. No, don't stretch before you work out. So
right. Okay, so I do want to ask you that. You brought that up earlier. So, what are some bro science things that you fell for the longest time, and when you found out that they were false or not well founded, that you had to finally give up and they died the hardest?
I'd say God, there are so many of them. I'd say the biggest ones are how they lift.
They're,
yeah, what's your phone number? Since he stopped talking.
270-314-3127. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry about that.
But the bro sign. As far as the cable pull down, like a lat pull down, you would pull down to the front, pulling to behind your head. Of course, back in the day, Arnold did it. All the people did it, but it's horrible. It's one. It doesn't even engage your lats, and it puts an impingement on your rotor cuff. Absolutely horrible. Same way with the behind the neck press, which I found was, again, my shoulders are kind of jacked up, so I've found a way that I can do that where it doesn't impinge my shoulders, but also, again, my collarbones aren't connected to my shoulders. For the average person, no, do not do a press behind your neck. Let's see. There's. Off the top of my head, I don't think I can think of any more.
I think there's a lot of like small workouts that people have just been doing for so long, and they got taught by the guys that came before them, and they just keep doing them. They're like, I've always
never thought to look.
Yeah, especially the behind the head thing, because it's like that's kind of a weird spot too.
Yeah, you're putting your shoulder, like it's an impingement on your rotor cuff. Okay. So no good.
Yeah.
All right, stretching it out.
Yeah.
So you jump into lifting. All right. So now we've got past the pre-workout, and now we're into lifting. What's your typical what like Monday through Friday routine?
Right now it's every other day because I am taking in, like I said, I'm experimenting with a lean bulk. A trap a lot of people it's really easy to fall into is overtraining and undereating, especially the older you get, your body doesn't recover as fast. So, yesterday I worked legs. Today I didn't work out. I'm just focusing on the nutrition, make sure I'm getting the protein in my body that I need to repair. Tomorrow will be chest and triceps, and then Thursday will be off, and Friday will be either chest and bicep or tricep and biceps together, and then Saturday. The only days that are back to back for me are Friday and Saturday. So it just going with my body too, as far as if it's not set in stone that I have to do. If my chest was still sore from last week, which is not, I wouldn't do chest tomorrow. I'd wait till it's fully recovered before I do it again. But some people, there's arguments that, I need to go ahead and work it again, work out the soreness. To me, if it's still sore, that means there's still repair going on. I don't want to tear it right back down before it's done repairing.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, I want to add on to that. Have you suffered any small or slightly major injuries due to some of the, workouts that you do, as far as like weight training and maybe not perhaps being fully aware of some of the bro science techniques and stuff like that, cause any damage to your body throughout time? Do you think?
Yeah, there's definitely probably some damage that was taking place. My knees, which. And again, that goes back to my genetic disorder. We had bad knees anyway. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. So I don't know if that goes to my knees are really bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that goes back to, was I squatting wrong? Was I deadlifting wrong and just didn't know it at the time? Or is that just my genetics? Now, I did years ago, I did have a hernia, but that was from a job that I'd worked, not from actually working out. So
I gotcha. I always wondered that because, like, I'm terrible about it. I'm terrible about it. Sometimes I'll spend like 2 or 3 weeks and I'm on the roll. I'm getting my runs in, I'm getting my weight training in, and then a week will go by and I lose that rhythm. Something happens, like I'm like late getting to something, and then I put off a meal, and then I start eating bad, and then everything else falls with it.
It's very easy to fall off the wagon. It's very easy to get out of routine. And if you miss one day turns into two, 1 week turns into a week, turns into two, and then before you know it, you're just completely out of it.
Well, how much is too much strength training?
It's depending on the individual. I mean,
So as a rule of thumb, would you say that you have to let your body stop hurting before you work that muscle again?
That's my principle for me. Mm-hmm. For me to get full recovery. Some other people, genetics does play a role into it. Your hormones, which are everything when it comes to this. So, some people, they can work the chest today and work it again tomorrow and be just fine. So, but for me, the type of training that I do is that, and that's a good a point I want to make, is there's a difference between working out and training. If I'm training a specific muscle, I'm going to destroy that muscle. And that's actually what you're doing. You're causing micro tears in that muscle fiber. Mm-hmm. And that's what's going to signal your IGF and your growth hormone and things like that for your body to say, hey, because your body does not naturally want to build muscle. Muscle takes calories. It takes energy. Your body does not want to do that. It wants to be efficient. It wants to have the least amount of muscle as possible and the most amount of fat as possible.
Right. Trying everything to retain as much fat.
Exactly.
Just another energy.
So for me, when I go in to do a chest workout or a tricep workout, I'm not leaving until it's done. So that's why I make sure that I give it enough time to recover before I go back and tear it down again.
I gotcha. There also seems to be a lot of speculation on should you stick to the same kind of conventional workouts and lifts that you see that are on like the apps that are on the internet, mm-hmm. or should you mix it up every week and surprise your body, surprise your muscles?
Well, here's the thing. One, muscle confusion, that is very important, but you could pick your 3 favorite bicep workouts. There's a dozen different ways of doing that same bicep workout with heavier weights, lower reps, lower weight, heavier reps, doing a rest pause, doing a DC, what's called a dog crap training with that exercise. There's literally so many different ways of using that same exercise that would be confusing to your biceps. So yes, the muscle confusion is you should on a regular basis change it up, but that doesn't mean you have to go, because you'll see people doing these off the wall exercises that aren't really targeting the muscle and they're really just hurting themselves. So. But you can literally just pick your favorite workouts. You want to make sure, like, because you have 2 heads to your bicep, the long head and short head. You want to make sure you work both. And then one, maybe a compound movement that works both. But yeah, just pick out the workouts that you really like, that you know are effective. Because there's some that, wow, that just hurts in a bad way. Not the muscle, it's hurting my joint. Don't do that. Pick the ones that do feel right, that allow you to activate that muscle, mm-hmm. and use it to the full extent.
What about this huge fucking like this giant CrossFit thing? Have you tried it? What's your opinion on it? Does it work? Is it effective? Or should you just chill and fucking do some bench pressing?
I'll say this for anybody: CrossFit's better than just sitting on the couch. I'll give them that. It's no say. I have a good buddy. He's all about the CrossFit, and for me, anytime it's momentum lifting. Okay, it's very anti-bodybuilder. Okay, we're a very strict form, or should be anyway. Some of them just swing weight. It's swinging weight. And you watch things like the CrossFit Games, you say, oh my God, these big men and these big women. If you look at their background, they were bodybuilders and power lifters first. Okay, I've known some people who they started out with their body type, going into CrossFit. They've been doing it for years. They look absolutely no different. So to me, that says what... because they're not actively activating that muscle that they're trying to work. It's a lot of different types of lifting put in one. It's circuit training, with kind of mixed with some Tabata training, like 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. I don't know who cooked it up, and honestly, I'm surprised this lasted this long. If you'd told me when it first came out, I was like, nah, this ain't gonna last. But it is. So I'm like, oh my God, seriously. I think it's very overrated. I think it's dangerous, and more injuries come out of that than any other type of lifting. So, but for anyone out there, hey, maybe I'm tried. No, I know I just offended you, and you're probably a vegan too. Whatever. So, live your life, and I'm proud of you for not being on the couch and doing nothing. If you want to go out there and take that risk, go for it. I mean, people they swear by it, they live by it, and you know what? That's you. Do you?
Everybody is different. Yeah,
No.
that's the biggest thing about staying in shape and being fit is that what might work for you or what might work for you might not work for me.
Yeah,
and
find your niche and go with it.
Yeah.
Even if it's not optimal. That's my biggest thing as far as what is optimal for not only for health but changing your body. Mm-hmm. And that's what I go for.
Do you have any? Okay, so for people that are at the stage that you were at when you were 300 pounds or when you were at 270 pounds, what kind of resources do you think that you could recommend to people now that would at least get their feet wet into the world of, starting to eat better, starting to find a plan to work out? Is there anything that you can think of off the top of your head that would, at least get people acquainted with fixing their life in a better direction?
Bodybuilding.com.
Bodybuilding, as simple as that.
I got a pretty simple one. Eat with your shirt off.
That would work.
Straight up.
This is disgusting.
Straight up. Eat with your shirt off.
Yeah.
If you're unhappy with yourself, eat with your shirt off, and you'll think about what you're doing to yourself.
I'll be damned. Yeah, it's.
But as far as getting your feet wet with knowledge, and that's the key here. And I'm more like wearing the bodybuilding.com hat, and then I'm kind of a walking. Contradiction, advertisement. Like, hey, Mark Lobliner, I don't know if you'll see this or not, but I'm wearing an MTS bracelet and a Tiger Fitness shirt. If you want to send me some free stuff, that would be great. By the way, MTS is a very good brand. I know he'll probably never see this, but MTS is because a lot of supplements, and not to get off point, supplements out there, they're underdosed and they're just straight up crap. You're not even getting what you're paying for, like the BCA, branched chain amino acids. A lot of them aren't even really dosed the way they say they are. So, but the MTS brand, I believe in that brand, and he puts the clinically dosed ingredients in there. So I would definitely check that out, tigerfitness.com or mtsnutrition.com. But as far as the information, that's where I began to find. I read magazines. I bought every magazine. I bought the books. I even bought the books from a girl who went to college to be a physical therapist to learn how the body works. But no, they have so many different programs. You can set your gender, your age range, and like I said, they've kind of fallen off the wagon as a leader in the supplement selling industry. But just the information they provide, and it's free. It's all free. And they have trackers on there, and a lot more like TigerFitness.com. They're going that way too now, as far as articles and stuff like that. But I would say that bodybuilding.com is still the king in that. They got a lot of free apps, a lot of different workouts. They are a very good resource. If you're looking just for information, hey, where do I start? What do I eat? Go there. It's worth it. Bodybuilding.com. It's easy. It's free. Go check it out.
Cool, man. And what, like,
give me free stuff.
For anybody,
I feel it.
For anybody that is sitting watching this podcast right now, our tens of listeners, and they're thinking,
all CrossFitters, pounce on me.
It's fucking snowing outside. For anybody who's sitting there thinking, all right, I'm gonna hit the gym tomorrow. I'm gonna hit the weight rack. What attitude should they have, and what limitations should they set for themselves touching weights for the first time?
Don't overdo it. If there's any guys out there, maybe back in your college heyday or your high school, you're bench pressing 350 pounds. That's great, man. High five to you. I can't do that. So high five to you. And you haven't touched those weight 20 years. You cannot do 350 pounds right now. I don't care how big you are or how strong you are at work. You will kill yourself if you go put 350 on there and just unrack it. So don't do that. Go in there. I would say get a good personal trainer, but there aren't any around here that I trust.
Really?
And I hate to recommend, but this is their job. But most personal trainers, I'm sorry, they don't know what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. I watch them destroy people's joints because, like, they got their little online certification or whatever, So,
what about you? You want to be a personal trainer?
There's no money in it. No,
really.
I do train people, but just friends, family, something like that. But as far as for a career, I did have one businessman approach me and say that if I'll write a program, he would help fund it. And then I was like, yeah, maybe, because that's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and all you got to do is, you'll lose 20 pounds in a month. So yeah.
Here's testimonials.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So and I have trained. I had a good buddy, Luke. and I assisted in his training, and he was over 300 pounds. Within 6 months, we dropped about 60 pounds of fat off of him and put on about 30 pounds of muscle. So, not to be arrogant, but I know what I'm doing. But at the same time, it can be very aggravating as far as training people, because I don't just say, hey, go do this. I'm going to go with you at the gym. I'm going to put you through every workout that you're going to do, show you how to activate your muscle properly. I'm going to go to the store with you. I'm going to teach you about nutrition. I'm going to write down what you need to eat, when you need to eat it, how much you need to eat. And I've done that before, completely free. And they quit 3 days in. I'm like, you have no idea how much time that takes for me to do that, because I have to factor in your metabolic body type.
Getting a phone call
Getting
here.
a call.
I'll go ahead and answer that. Put it on the speaker here.
CrossFitter.
Go ahead. Keep talking.
But I forgot.
Okay.
I've done that before, and he just completely quit within 3 days. So.
Hey, yeah, you're on Take Cover. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up?
What's going on with you, man? You're live with us now.
We're live with you now. We're just checking in, man. We love your show.
Oh, I appreciate the love and support, man. Anything you want to add to the discussion with Jonathan here?
No, I just pretty much want to tell you I love your show.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you
You got a
calling
fan?
in,
That's
man. You have a good day, man, and keep watching the shows, and let us know if we can improve the show in any way, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Y'all keep doing your thing, bro.
Oh, all right, thanks, man.
Well, that's always good to hear.
Yeah, we'll
Glad
support
he
you,
didn't
man.
challenge me like great as a CrossFitter.
Yeah. Hey, if you are a CrossFitter, call in.
yeah, let's
I'd love
talk.
to hear it. I'd love to hear it.
I'm not against the debate.
Do
Just
we
don't get
know any
mad.
CrossFitters? I'll tag the shit out of them on Facebook. I think I know one. Go ahead.
They're probably
keep
waiting outside for me.
Yeah.
Come on, we're gonna.
talking. They're gonna flip a fucking tractor tire on you.
Yeah, they might. But I forgot where we're at. But as far as the trainers and things like that, best as far as when you go into the gym and you're looking for somebody, find the biggest ripped guy there. Chances are he's probably juicing, but he also probably knows what he's doing. And once you've been in the gym culture long enough, you could tell who's just juicing and who's doing it because they're a competitor. A competitor, and most of them are nice. They can look intimidating, but they're some of the nicest people, and they love fitness. They love talking about fitness. If you have questions, at first they're going to be standoffish, because we get that a lot. As far as somebody comes up to us, they're asking us 1,000. You're interrupting my workout. You're asking me 1,000 different questions, and I know you're going to quit within a week. But if they've seen you there for a month or so, and they see you're sticking with it, they will be happy to assist you and to help you and give you knowledge and direct you in the right path. And again, as far as just bodybuilding.com, go there and they'll get you started. But yeah, definitely don't be that guy that walks in the gym and thinking you can lift the same amount that you did in high school, because you're just going to hurt yourself. You're going to be disappointed. But you can work up back to that. Don't be disappointed. You can work back to that and become even stronger before, because there's this thing called muscle memory. That muscle will, oh, hey, let's do this. Let's grow and let's get stronger. So, yeah, step into the gym. Be careful. Take your time. And again, above all else, nutrition before anything else. Get that right first. Yeah.
All right. How much cardio do you do? We haven't touched on cardio at all. And what do you do for your cardio?
Research shows the best form of cardio is interval, fast-paced, slow-paced, fast-paced, slow-paced. As far as it also, we talked about the mitochondria earlier. That helps your mitochondria be more efficient, helps with insulin sensitivity. And actually, because we get the people who just run. What happens is when you first start running, you start any movement at all, your body says, hey, let's use the glucose that's stored in the muscles that came from the carbs. So, it burns that off, but you're still running. So, okay, well, let's metabolize fat. Okay, so it starts metabolizing fat and you're still running. It's like, holy crap, we can't metabolize fat strong enough. And then your body releases an anti-stress hormone called cortisol, which is horrible for fat loss. So, and you're running. Now, think of your runners. Have you ever seen a buff runner? You've seen them lean, very lean. But you ever seen one with really big muscles? No, because they're eating away. That's what that cortisol does. It eats away at that muscle. It breaks that muscle down into amino acids, and then through a process called glucogenesis, it turns it into sugar to be used. So that's where the interval, okay, you're fast-paced, and it's burning glucose, it's burning fat. Then you slow down, the body's like, okay, cool. And you're giving your body time to catch up and get that fat metabolized and get it into your system and use it for fuel. So, and that's typically better after your weight training. do that after your weight training.
Okay. So, what would be the best type for interval training? Like running, biking, boxing, swimming?
Switch it up.
Just switch it up
Switch
every
it
time.
up.
Do something
Yeah,
different.
do a different elliptical. Do like me, I don't like running because it hurts my knees. The bicycle, sit down bicycle, that's one of my favorite ones. Stairmaster is a good one. The different types of ellipticals, those are good.
Okay.
And there's one. It's a Japanese style of interval training called Tabata. Tabata, and you can find it online if you want to look up. But what it is, it's whatever you're doing, whether it's bicycle, whatever, sprinting, do it as hard as you can for 20 seconds. And if you're just new to this, don't do this. You will throw up all over yourself. And I'm not playing. Do it as hard as you can for 20 seconds. Then a dead stop for 10 seconds. Breathe in as much oxygen as you can because your body needs oxygen, and it needs oxygen to oxidize fat cells and get the fat into your blood to burn for energy. You 20 seconds, hard as you can, 10 seconds, stop. 20 seconds as hard as you can, 10 seconds, stop. And you do that for 8 rounds. That comes out to 4 minutes. That is as beneficial as far as calorie burn as 30 minutes on a treadmill.
Wow.
It's really it's
not as bad on your joints either.
No. But as far as if you go straight into that, just off the street in there, and you haven't built your way up to that, you will absolutely throw up all over yourself. Your body's not used to that kind of shock because you're not just doing hard; you're doing all out everything you've got for 20 seconds, and then for those 10 seconds. And the first couple times, okay, this isn't bad. By the time you get to that 4th round, you're breathing hard and your stomach's hurting. It's train your way up to that, and that's.
I was gonna ask, what do you think the perfect or the optimal, as you said earlier, mix would be for cardio in terms of length and intensity?
Depending on what your goals are. If you're doing
for weight loss,
for
pretty much everyone wants weight loss.
For weight loss, if you're not doing the Tabata, I would do the interval training for about 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. I wouldn't go that much over that because that's when your cortisol comes into play and your body said, okay, we can't metabolize fat fast enough. So, I would definitely cut it off 20, 30 minutes, especially if you've already done a weight training session. So, plus, and I mentioned earlier, if you're doing a weight training session, in between, your heart rate's going to get up while you're lifting those weights, and then you take your rest in between. So you're kind of getting an interval training right there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, do you have? I want to ask this too. Do you have many cheat days as far as food, and as far as physically? As far as like skipping out of the gym or eating a terrible meal. I know you say if I want a cheeseburger, I'm eating a freaking cheeseburger.
Right. As far as the cheat day, as far as missing a gym, I don't plan a miss. Like right now, I'm doing. You can probably tell in my voice, I have a sinusy thing going right now. It's not good to work out when you're any kind of sick because your body is working very hard to build its immune system to fight whatever's going on. Like yesterday, I worked out. I probably shouldn't have, but I went light. I didn't do a lot. So if I miss the gym, it's because either I'm sick or just something came up to where I couldn't go, and then I'm going to cry about it. Like, please, no, I'd rather be at the gym. No. Why do I have to see my family? Screw you guys. But and that's another thing too. That at the end of the day, your work and your job and your family, they do come first. There's some people they would call in to work to go to the gym or skip out on their family. Those are the most important things, okay? You can fit fitness in other places. And as far as cheat meals, it used to be every 3rd or 4th day. Now I just listen to my body. I can tell when my metabolism is starting to drop. And like, okay, now I need more calories to get the metabolism back up. So, but now that I've recently started the literally 1 day on, 1 day off, 1 day on, 1 day off, I haven't needed those. That's where my when I was saying if you trained every single day, especially if you're eating lower calories, that's when your body starts to freak out. Your thyroid starts to shut down because it's trying to preserve your body.
You'll go into starvation mode, right?
Exactly. So it's like, oh no, we're not burning anything but muscle. So but since I started the every other day and monitoring my nutrition, I haven't needed a cheat day. But I still, I think I ate cheddars the other day. So, hey, whatever, it's not going to kill me. And again, I'm not planning on stepping on any stages. So, and plus as much loose skin, and that sounds nasty, but as much loose skin as I have, it'd look nasty anyway. So I don't take this shirt off. So.
I gotcha. What would you recommend? Cardio before or after strength training? After for sure?
Absolutely, after for sure.
So even though you're just dog shit tired, what if you did leg day? Should you do running before or after if you're running?
I don't know.
Yeah. that's where if you got the gonads to be able to handle it, do your legs, and then go do a Tabata type workout, because you're going to be all out. You're going to finish your legs off. Then or get on a treadmill and set it at a good pace and put the incline about 8, because you're really going to activate the muscle fibers. And for all those people out there, this is a pet peeve of mine, and I'm probably, because you just don't realize it, so I'm going to reveal it right now. Big secret: the people who put the treadmill at a very steep incline and hold on and lean back, you just took the incline out of it. You're no longer walking at an incline. Think about it. When you're walking up a hill, do you lean back?
No,
you lean forward into
Yeah.
it, and that's the way it's supposed to be, to activate those muscles, activate those glutes and those quads and those hamstrings. Set it up to that level 8, level 10, and walk up into it. Don't hold on it and lean back. Say, "Oh, it looks cool. Look at the incline I'm in." Yeah, but you've essentially, by leaning back, you're essentially just walking straight. So, yeah, for anybody listening that does that, if you really want the benefit of that incline, take your hands off and lean forward. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. I noticed that at the gym. I tried to do that a couple of times, and I was like, it's weird that my legs aren't burning and I'm walking at a 12-degree fucking angle.
Yep.
You know,
that's good.
And then
that's good
and,
endurance.
Yeah, and then you take your hands off and you're like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, no, yeah.
How many days a week, if I'm trying to lose fat, how many days a week should I do cardio? Every day after should I go in, hit the strength training, and then hit a cardio and then leave? Or
honestly, if your diet is where it needs to be, and you've already mentioned how much weight you're losing, just adding in the strength training, you don't have to do cardio. That's not a necessity. Like we talked about before, if you had to pick one or the other, strength training above all. The cardio is just, hey, if you got some extra juice, you want to do some more, go for it. But really, I rarely ever. I do. Honestly, I actually enjoy cardio, but I rarely ever do it.
Really?
Yeah. So it's not a necessity to oxidize and lose fat. Especially if you're doing a hard strength training, you should never need cardio. But it's good for your heart. It is. So yeah, throw it in there if you like it, but do it at the end. And like I said, hey, if you want to do it every day, do it every day. You know, that's up to you.
So man, honestly, I fucking hate cardio. The only just the thought of just getting on a treadmill and doing that is awful. Yeah. And then going outside, like on a day like today where it's 70 degrees, that's totally fine.
Oh, yeah.
But you know, when you go out there and the cicadas are fucking singing away and it's 99 degrees with the sun beating down, it's awful.
I'm going
outside. Yeah, let's not do it today. But something I've gotten into recently with Chase here is we've done a little bit of boxing, and I've noticed that just putting on sparring gear and boxing for a minute will have your heart rate through the fucking roof. I mean, you'll be drenched in sweat. And I think it's also a big mental game, because you're trying not to get injured the whole time. You're trying to read your opponent, trying to see where he's dipping, where his hips are going, where his footwork's going. And so I don't know. I think for anybody that doesn't mind to endure a little bit of pain, it's a type of cardio that will get you your cardio workout in, that's for sure, but can also be applied to the real world. Because in my opinion, especially in today's age, for the guys that jump on a treadmill and run 12 miles, like that's not really practical for everyday application.
No.
I've never, ever had to run more than a mile in my entire life for any real reason. You know, I mean, I drive a truck to work every day. But, you know, if I'm ever in the situation where I'm going to need to fight somebody or things escalate or whatever, I'll be better prepared to do that, while at the same time dropping some calories by boxing.
Exactly. Plus, by the boxing, you're working your shoulders and you're working your muscles. So it is almost a form of strength training, not weight training, but it is strength training, because you're having to keep your hands up and things like that. So yeah, cardio or boxing is a great form of cardio.
I had somebody comment. I posted on my Facebook, reaching out to any CrossFitters who wanted to defend their stance.
Yeah.
And somebody commented that their boyfriend is in the Coast Guard, so he can't call in right now. But he's actually a CrossFit instructor. Oh, so that'd be cool if he could call in, but unfortunately.
Sure, you have a few good things to say.
Yeah. I mean, that would be a good conversation though.
Yeah.
But what do you think about monitoring your heart rate? Should you do that? And what's like the optimal heart rate if you should for weight loss again?
As far as monitoring, if you're doing your interval training, there's one you could do as far as, you know, most machines have things you can put your hands on and it'll get your heart rate. Get your heart rate up to around 150 and then back off until your heart rate drops down to about 125. then pick it up till it gets back to 150 again, and then drop back down to, well, don't drop too low. Just keep it around the 125 to 130, and then put it right back up to the 150. So whether if you're really in really good shape, you recover pretty quick. You're only going to be slowing down for 30 seconds. But if you're somebody that's new to it, it's going to take a while. Once you get up to 150, it's going to take a couple minutes to get it down. Don't stand still. Just go at a slower pace. Walk at a slower pace.
Get your breath back, but stay mobile.
And get your heart rate drop down to the 120s, and then back up in the 150s and down to the 120s.
Yeah.
So I've heard you say a couple times now that diet above all else at no cost, right? So what is your typical diet like? What's a typical, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for you?
My breakfast, first thing is I eat eggs, and I cook them the night before because I already get up at 4:30 in the morning. I'm not getting up at 4 to cook breakfast, so I cook it the night before. I do 1 or 2 whole eggs and some egg whites, and I fry them in extra virgin olive oil. But you have to do it on medium to low heat because you'll burn the extra virgin olive oil and you lose your monounsaturated fats. Then a couple pieces of bacon. That's my first one. Then my first meal at work will be some lean turkey, and then maybe
Why lean turkey?
It's lean. It's just lean protein.
Okay.
And some people would frown on this, but unless you just have a whole lot of time to meal prep, I get the lean lunch turkey meat. Or turkey lunch meat. That's not optimal. It just has a lot of sodium, has additives in it, but I'm getting my protein.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll buy I'll say a cheese stick, but it's not like the fried cheese stick. It's actually like the
String cheese.
Yeah, string cheese.
Yeah.
And then my next meal, which would be my lunch, will be either ground chicken or ground turkey. And I'll use some sugar-free barbecue sauce. And then my meal after that will be some type of carb meal: potatoes, rice, maybe with a protein shake that has a combination of fast digesting and slow digesting proteins. And then have my workout a couple hours later, and then after that will be my protein shake, and then go home, and it will be a fast digesting carb and another protein source, and then later on that night it'll be another protein source before I go to bed.
So what time will you eat that last protein source? Thereabouts, compared to what time you go to bed?
Probably between 7 to 8, because I typically try to get in bed around 9:30 or so. And I typically try to put some cottage cheese in there or something like that, because it's a casein protein that's slower digesting. So I'm giving my muscles a constant stream of amino acids throughout the night while it's digesting.
Mm-hmm.
So that, or you can actually buy a casein protein over the counter, but it's typically really thick, and man, that's just expensive. Give me the cottage cheese, and I might eat some more eggs with it.
Yeah.
So
now I've heard if you eat too much protein, like so much that your body can't use it, it'll actually turn it into carbs and turn that obviously. And
it can, but it's not easy. Yeah, that's the process of glucogenesis, where it's taking the protein that's broke down into amino acids and turning it into glucose. But it would have to. You're not going to do enough to where it's going to turn into carbs and turn into fat. That's one of those bro science things. Oh, don't eat too much protein. Typically, you eat too much protein, you're just going to crap it out. That's
really.
It's like your body's, hey, I don't need that, but and get rid of it. So
I gotcha. Yeah, I'd seen that a couple times. That's why I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, that's one of those bro science. Oh, protein will make you fat. Like no.
What's your thoughts on an organic food, and even better, what's your thoughts on like a vegan diet? If you're trying to be a bodybuilder, especially.
You need protein. Everything. You can get protein from
But
your
you can
nuts.
get protein from plants, bro.
Yeah, you're not going to get 200 to 300 grams.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot of salad.
That's a whole lot of fucking protein, though, too.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of protein a day.
No, it is. But your entire body is made up of protein.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think you need protein? That's why it's called essential.
Don't you think you need protein?
Don't you think you need protein?
Yeah. Don't you need that steak?
That should be a t-shirt.
I'm kind of
a fat T-bone right in the center with "Don't you think you need protein?" going around it.
Yeah, no, I'd market that. But that's why you call like essential amino acids. They're essential to your body. There's like essential fatty acids. Now, eating some of your vegetables and your and nuts, I think you're going to get some, but in my opinion, you're not going to get as much as you need. And as far as the vegan thing, to me, and I'm not knocking anybody out there, you're vegan, hey, do you, okay? To me, I think it's almost like just a self-righteous thing, like, oh, I don't eat, whatever. So, hey, whatever, do you. That's your life. If you just want to go out there and get a handful of grass out of your yard and eat it, go for it, buddy. I'm not. I'm going to enjoy this ribeye. So, do your thing, So,
Well, how important is it to stay open to the new diet trends that come along and the new ideas that come into a lot of the industry?
Within the last 16 years, some of the things that I started out that were known as, yes, this is a fact, and I can't think of an example, but I just know that I remember, oh, wow, what I believed about it. The information is constantly changing. Studies are constantly changing, and that's where you kind of fall into a trap because depending on, because there's, it's a documentary, and it's all about against meat and all this other stuff. Well, look who paid for the documentary and for the study, and you're going to find bias there. People will do studies and they will throw away because they're looking for a certain result. They'll keep all the information that supports their claims and throw the rest away. So it's like creatine monohydrate. That gets it's bad for your kidney. There are literally thousands and thousands and thousands of studies proving it's good. It works. Drink a lot of water. Stay hydrated. Simple as that. It works. Because it's in meat. It's naturally in your body anyway. So don't overdo it. 5 grams a day is all you need. But as far as information is always evolving, so that's another reason why I'm constantly on top of it. As far as what's the newest research, what's the newest ingredient that's coming out on the market. So it's ever evolving. Which that's just information in general about everything. We're evolving. As far as information and knowledge. So just trying to stay on top of it, and a lot of it sometimes it does come out. It's BS, but that's where I think I mentioned earlier to you that. Eventually, you learn some stuff that's fundamental that you recognize crap when it comes out. Like, I'm sorry, there's just no way.
Fell for that before, and you're like, not again.
Yeah, right.
Okay, gotcha.
So, would you, and if so, how would you change your diet if you were trying to target weight loss and if you were trying to target bodybuilding? Is there a difference in diet, and if so, what would it be?
Well, first of all, the term weight loss, that's incorrect. We're talking about fat loss.
Okay.
Let's go with fat loss. That's where weight loss. That's what we mean is fat. But when people, I want to lose 20 pounds, they're going to that scale every other day. Oh, I'm losing 20 pounds. Oh, I lost 20 pounds. Yeah, how much muscle did you lose? Yeah. Was it because you lost muscle and fat? They just wanted to be smaller. Let's focus on losing fat. Okay, so the diet there, as far as I would recommend the keto diet, or just you can literally just. There was one guy, he had wanted to prove a point that you can lose weight strictly by reduction in calories. So he ate nothing but junk food, which wasn't much because there's so many calories in junk food that I think he ate like Doritos and Twinkies. He didn't eat much every day, but he ate under his maintenance total that would be needed to survive, and he lost weight. But how much? That's not the healthiest. That's not the optimal way of doing it. And as far as bodybuilding, if you're wanting to, there's different aspects to bodybuilding. If you're talking about bulking, that's typically, just eating more, eating clean. Most people, I'm bodybuilding or I'm bulking, so I'm going to eat just a bunch of junk. No, it's not an opportunity for that.
All right, we've got another caller coming in. Let's go ahead and patch him through. Hey, you're live on Take Cover. What's going on, man?
Hey, Jacob, you there?
Yeah, this is Jacob, and we're here with Chase and Jonathan Soshe.
Hey, man, it's Caleb.
Oh, hey, Caleb, what's going on? This is a guy in the Coast Guard I referred to earlier, who's a CrossFit instructor, right, Caleb?
Yeah.
Bring the closer to your mic so you can hear.
Oh,
okay. Okay.
So, Jonathan, what were you saying about CrossFit earlier as far as it's ineffective and the people look the same as they did a few years ago?
Right. The people that I know that have been in CrossFit, their bodies have not changed at all. So from a bodybuilding standpoint, I don't find it effective. Like I say, I'm not against people who do it. That's them. They believe in it. That's fine. I would rather you be active than be sitting on the couch. But to me, it looks like a bunch of momentum lifting. So that's just me. So what's this gentleman's name? Caleb. So give us your thoughts on it, Caleb.
All right, so you're saying people just keep on looking the same even though they're working out?
Yeah, the ones that I know do it. Yes, they've never, their bodies they haven't gotten any change in their body as far as bigger muscles or anything like that.
Right. So I mean, CrossFit is just fundamentally different than weightlifting.
Right.
In that weightlifting is meant to make you bigger. That is its purpose. It can be tweaked to make you stronger more than bigger.
Yes, sir. Right.
and more cut. It can be tweaked a little bit differently. But what CrossFit does is that it more balances your body. And the other thing is, lifting weights, no matter how badly you eat, you're always going to get bigger. You're always going to see a change. CrossFit, you don't really get bigger as much. You can, but you don't. So you have a lot of people doing CrossFit, but, they're not changing their diet then.
Right.
So they're trying to out-train a bad diet, and they'll end up looking exactly the same.
Exactly. So would you say it's more of just an overall, like a physical, functional type workout? Then it's not really based on trying to change the body. And what is the purpose of CrossFit? Just something different, or what?
Hey, CrossFit, they market it as functional movement.
Okay.
However, everybody's different.
Right.
My body reacts better to CrossFit. I see better results doing CrossFit.
Mm-hmm.
However, that may not be the case for someone that like go to the YMCA and pump iron.
Right. As far as, and this is something I've noticed again, I'm not trying to knock CrossFit. These are just things that I've noticed. Like I said, I've never went. I've done one CrossFit session one time, and it seemed like there was a lot of just momentum lifting. To where, as far as from the bodybuilding aspect, we're very. And again, they're definitely a momentum lifter, just swinging dumbbells and barbells and things like that. But as far as me, as far as it's very muscle targeted. It seemed like. And maybe it was just the instructor that I had. That it was a lot of just trying to use momentum to lift the weight instead of actually using the muscle. Was that just a bad experience, or what's your take on that?
No, that's absolutely what it is. Because like what you were saying before, it's functional movement.
Right.
So think about if you're lifting a heavy crate, are you just gonna curl that heavy crate up and put it in your truck, or are you gonna get all the momentum that you can to get it up in the bed of your truck? So it's a different goal.
Right.
Weightlifting is isolation, so it's going to target certain muscle groups specifically.
Yes, sir.
And as I was saying before, CrossFit is just meant as a general balance to the body.
Okay, it's Jacob here. So, if we're comparing CrossFit to bodybuilding directly, the goal of CrossFit is functional movement, and the goal of weightlifting is bigger muscles, right?
Essentially.
So wouldn't bigger muscles in turn relate directly to better functionality?
Depends on limber. Like we're.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It absolutely can. Bigger muscles in and of themselves, may not. But with training and muscle mass, does come a bit of strength, and of course you're going to move. Better, stronger, and more efficiently. But it's, as I said, it's meant to target certain muscles. So with either one, you're going to see a crossover of benefits in both categories. If you do CrossFit enough in, Olympic lifts and all that, you're going to get a little bit bigger, but not as much as you would if you were, lifting weights. Likewise, and conversely, if you're lifting weights in the gym, you're not going to learn how to move as efficiently as you would with CrossFit.
No, I absolutely agree with that. Earlier, we were talking about the importance of stretching. That you get some guys that get so big. I'm sure you've heard the term, "It's so big you can't wipe his own butt." That's a very real thing. You become kind of stuck in your size as a bodybuilder that you need to, explore into yoga and things like that to be able to stay limber instead of just trying to be basically a blockhead that that has no neck and can't even turn around.
Yeah, and different people have different goals.
Right.
So I'm not saying any particular fitness goal is wrong. If you want to be bigger, you want to be bigger. If you want to be stronger, you want to be stronger.
Yeah.
None of those are wrong.
No.
It's just different methods.
No, I agree. And still, but any of it's better than just sitting on the couch and doing nothing.
No, absolutely. And anybody, even if you're just eating correctly and not really training, just going for like quick walk, that's better than someone that's training and eating like absolute crap.
Yeah. Yeah. Diet first and foremost, which I've brought up several times.
So for someone who is listening currently and is trying to decide whether or not they want to go the more bodybuilding route or the more CrossFit route. Caleb, first, what would be your persuading argument as far as say someone wants to lose weight but also be athletic and still look good with their shirt off? What would be your persuasion to tell them to do CrossFit over bodybuilding?
CrossFit, that you will generally tone more. And so long as with either method, you need to diet correctly. But
Absolutely.
with CrossFit, you will tend to tone more than lifting weight. Both methods will burn actually about the same amount of body fat, because with weightlifting, you're building muscle, which increases your metabolism.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
You're going to burn fat either way, about the same. It's just with weightlifting, you're going to get bigger. With CrossFit, you're most likely going to get more defined.
Oh, okay. So it really just depends on what your end goal is.
Right.
If you like you just said, if you want to get more shredded, then probably CrossFit. If you want to get a little bulkier, then bodybuilding.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Well, do you have anything you want to add to that, Jonathan?
No, I agree with him completely. It does come down to what is your goal. Just like the people who do yoga, they want to be limber and that kind of thing. So go do yoga. Like I said, and I'm glad he's backed up the point that nutrition is first. Above all, you can't out-train a bad diet. And and that's another thing too, as far as find out knowing what you want. What people just, I just want to lose weight, or I just want to get this or just that. No, pinpoint it. Pick a picture of a person that you want to look like and work towards that. So whether it be CrossFit or bodybuilding. So
awesome. Well, I think we all learned a lot. Hell, that was good. That's why I wanted somebody who knew more about CrossFit than us three to call in so we could have that conversation. So thanks, Caleb, for calling in, man.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, anytime, dude.
Take care, man.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome.
All right, glad we were able to get him in here, and
Good conversation.
yeah, because I mean, I don't know much about CrossFit. I've seen stuff and I read a couple articles, but not enough to know what it's fundamentally about. And I guess it really is. At the end of the day, fitness is what you were just saying. Whatever goal you want to achieve, what picture do you want to paint over the next 5-10 years of developing your body nutritionally, physically, mentally, all those things combined. Right. Some people don't want to be huge.
No.
Some guys don't want to be, runner fit where they can stop and run 26 miles in a day. Some guys want different things. And I think that, I guess at the end of the day, it
comes down to knowing what you want.
Yeah, you got to know what
that.
you want.
Get a program that will get you there.
So, do you think that you can still eat out and remain dedicated and committed to your weight loss plan?
Oh yeah,
and your fitness
if you're
goals?
doing as far as you like being in ketosis, if you go over 20 carbs, go to a meal, you're knocking yourself out of ketosis. You're going to have to go 48 hours going back to get back into ketosis. Mm-hmm. For someone who's just doing just strictly trying to lose fat, you can. And this is the most basic. This isn't the optimal, but I'm going to give everybody a formula here how you can lose weight. All right, take your weight. If you're a female, it'll be by 10. If you're a male, it'll be by 11. Take your weight, times it by that. Say it comes out to 2,200 calories. That's what's called your maintenance total. That's what it takes for you to survive at the weight that you are right now. That's not counting in your physical activity. That's at rest, doing nothing, okay? Subtract 500 calories from that. So you're, 1,700 calories. For 3 or 4 days, eat only 1,700 calories, however you want to do it, whether it's just a few Doritos or all healthy food, which would be better. Then on that 4th or 5th day, that's when you would go eat out. You want to add roughly 500 to 800 calories on top of that, because over those course of a couple of days, your thyroid's slowing down, your body's going into that survival mode. It's like, hey man, I'm starving, you're not giving me enough fuel. When you go and eat that quote unquote treat meal, whatever you want to call it, it's like throwing gasoline back on your metabolism, and your thyroid comes back up, and then the next day, because your metabolism is still up, so you'll go back to that 1,700, then back up to 3,200 for the day. So there's absolutely room for going out to eat. It's just not all the time. And plus, like I said before, it doesn't matter how healthy you are, you're going to die eventually. Do you really want to live the rest of your life not eating ribs for the sake of clean diet?
Right.
Yeah, you got to think about your genetics too, are leading cause of death. You know, because you could be the healthiest person in the world, but die of a heart attack at freaking 45.
There was a woman that my family knew. She ran every day, ate healthy all the day, and then one day, gone like that. Heart just stopped. When your number's up, your number's up. I want to say that I lived life. Now, I'm not going to go back to being 300 pounds, but
because that's not happy either.
No, it's not. You're miserable,
Yeah.
and I don't want to die early, and I don't want to be in a position that I'm in really bad health on my way to dying. I want to be as healthy as I can on my way to the grave. Okay. So,
yeah, man. One thing I've noticed, is like we've been talking about, I'll do the keto thing, but I'll eat, and maybe you can give me a reason for this. I'm hoping you can. So I'll eat perfect all week, right?
Right.
And part of the ketosis meal plan or diet is you got to increase significantly your intake of vegetables. And the reason for that, or so I've read, is because while your body is processing all this body fat it's using for energy, it muddies up your liver. It makes it hard for your liver to process things because your body fat is so nasty compared to normal
glucose,
things that you'd eat.
Yeah.
So
it's harder to break down.
So the vegetables go in there and they kind of help process things and they clean out your liver for you.
Right, that and the fiber too.
Right. So maybe it's a mixture of the vegetables and the keto diet plan, but by like Friday, I'll be super bloated to the point where I'm just miserable, like and I won't feel good. Yeah. So then on the weekend, I'll have like a baked potato, which is like one food that is high in carbs. It's like 20 grams of carbs by itself, but it's all at once, and that will like go ahead and pass everything through me to where I'll feel so much better.
Right.
And then it's like exactly the exact same thing next week.
Yeah.
So why
if you're
that?
bloated, it's coming from a digestive issue. You might look into taking some probiotics. I recommend everyone take probiotics or digestive enzyme. That's where if you're bloating, it means your intestines are having a hard time moving that through. So how many vegetables do you eat? You say you eat a lot. That's where your fiber should be coming from. That.
Yeah. I also take like one a day vitamin every morning. Yeah. But I would say on average, depending on how hell-bent I am on eating vegetables, which vegetables have carbs in them as well. So I try to outweigh that, but probably on average about 3 cans a week.
Okay.
And it's largely green beans because I fucking love green beans.
Yeah. That's about the only vegetable other than lettuce. I mean, I can eat spinach.
It's always broccoli or green beans is like my go-to.
Yeah. I would say, the bloatedness is just your body, your system is trying to digest that through. Mm-hmm. So
I've seen I'm on some keto groups on Facebook, and a lot of the people on there are saying to try because a lot of people experience that, and they're saying to try like what's it called? Carb cycling or keto cycling, where basically you eat perfect all week, and then on the weekends
you carb load.
Yeah,
That's
you
actually,
carb load.
I can't remember the author, but there's called a diet called the anabolic diet that for bodybuilding, using that strict keto Monday through Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday you eat as many. Now you cut the fats out, the proteins, and you pack in the carbs like no other. You completely carb load for those 2 days, and then you come off of it. And that's called the anabolic diet.
Now, what's the science behind that? Why does that work better than typical normal keto? It seems like being in keto the entire time would be more effective.
Well, I get that's probably to do with your one. It affects your insulin differently, and plus insulin is an anabolic hormone. If you're in ketosis, your insulin stays down. So when you wait till that weekend and you spike it, that insulin is staying spiked all weekend, and it's constantly driving nutrients into your muscle. So that's an anabolic effect. So that's probably where they get the anabolic diet.
Now, would that still work well for someone like me who isn't in the gym right now?
I would think so. I mean, I don't see why not. But as far as it's meant for people who do work out. I don't know if anybody's ever done it that hasn't worked out. Mm-hmm. But it's worth trying. The only thing, like I said, it's kind of a bummer because, okay, good, I just carb loaded. And now Monday and Tuesday are just spent trying to get back into ketosis. So...
and that wastes a portion of your week.
Yeah, because then you only spend a nominal amount, right?
Right, you're only spending 3 days in ketosis.
Yeah. And that's more. I mean, you're spending 4 days out of ketosis that way.
Yeah. So that was worth trying. Experiment.
It's tricky. Yeah.
So I'll come back.
Which I feel guilty enough eating like a potato or like a small helping of fries, dude. That's the one thing I can say. Like, I don't care for bread. I don't care for pizza. I don't care for sweets. I've never been a sweets guy.
God,
but
I love sweets.
But the one thing that is my kryptonite is French fries.
Really,
Dude, I
Rally's
love
French fries,
some. Oh, I don't even care about rallies.
Oh, really?
Give me some Arby's loaded fries.
Oh man.
Oh boy,
It's got the fats.
you get them cheddar cheese on there, that ranch dressing. That's where it's at. But yeah, I've definitely had to watch that. And you know the weird thing is that you go to any fast food restaurant, hell, any normal restaurant really, and they don't have any sides that are vegetables or anything that doesn't have carbs in it. It's
No,
like
Roadhouse green
fries.
beans.
Yeah,
Right.
you got fries, onion rings, tater tots, loaded baked potatoes,
Fried pickles.
fried pickles in themselves are great,
Yeah.
but you go ahead and fucking fry them to ruin them, of course.
Yeah.
And then you've got shit like that just there's no winning. And ketchup, like
It's loaded with sugar.
yeah,
Is there even
Loaded.
tomatoes and ketchup anymore?
No,
I
just
don't think
sugar.
so, no, yeah,
Just
a
sugar
little
and
bit
red
of
coloring.
taste and a lot of sugar. So.
Mhm. Now, how do you typically wrap up your workout? You're finished at the gym, you wore yourself out. What do you do now? You stretch and drink a protein shake? How do you do it?
Well, depending on which training method I'm using, depends on the stretch. As far as if I'm doing a dog crap DC style training, there's going to be
What is
stretching.
that? You've referred to that before.
That is, well, once you get to your last set, say you've done 3 sets of chest press, okay, you're going to pick a weight that you can do 10 to 12 reps with. Do your 10 to 12 reps, and then you're going to take about 8 to 10 deep breaths. You're going to go straight back into it. Press out as many as you can, but drop the weight, put it on your knees, whatever set up. Take in another 8 to 10, 12 breaths, and then lay back and do as many as you can. And then on the last one, you want an eccentric hold for 30 seconds. That hard muscle contraction for 30 seconds. And the chest press isn't really the great one for it, but I just want to use an example. And then right after that, you will do a minute of. Remember earlier I was mentioning the fascia tissue that covers your muscle. You're going to do a very hard stretch, which can be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing, because if you get a hernia in your fascia tissue, it's very hard to repair. So stretching that out, getting a hard stretch, and then and you're letting that blood flow in. So that's essentially what DC or dog crap training is.
Okay. So then going back to your wrap up routine.
Yeah, and then the my last one will be every bit of the muscle's going to be tired anyway, but the absolute last, burning it out, making sure I've completely just torn that muscle down, huge pump, and just really, really wearing that muscle out. Then I go straight to the locker room. I take my protein with me and get the protein in my body so I can immediately start repairing, and then I drive home.
I gotcha. What kind of vitamins or even supplements can someone take to help with the burn and the soreness the next day?
Creatine monohydrate is good. It helps with soreness. Beta alanine is good. Take 3.2 grams, and that's one. A lot of people they'll take a pre-workout. Oh, it makes me feel like my face and my skin is itching. That's what's causing it is the beta alanine.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as a multivitamin, take magnesium. Everybody should take a good multivitamin, one that's USP certified. I don't take this brand, but the Nature Made. They are USP certified. They're third-party tested. There's a lot of supplements out there that are not, that you would buy it, and it only has trace amounts of actually what it says. Like I think it's the Spring Valley that Walmart has. None of the, well, maybe a few of them, but the majority of them do not have in it what it's saying it has. Mm-hmm. But a good D3, take a 500 IU a day, or not, 5,000 IU a day, a good multivitamin, take your extra vitamin C, a good fish will take at least 3 grams a day. Make sure it has the EPA and DHA in it. Take some turmeric and curcumeric and get them in a capsule form. Take that. It helps with inflammation. And the main thing is if you got enough protein in your diet. If your muscle is staying sore, it's because it doesn't have what it needs to rebuild. So that's where the protein comes in.
What about hanging? I've heard a lot of people, and especially bodybuilders, say that you spend a few minutes at the end of your workout just hanging from a bar.
That would just be for stretching purposes.
Yeah, it's supposed to alleviate shoulder, back pain, joint pain, discomfort.
Yeah, I've never done it. Never even looked into it.
It's something you should check it out and let me know what you think. It's something about again just our primitive past and how we're built physiologically. It's supposed to be really good for just everything. Really? Especially if you have back issues.
Yeah, I would say it's going to elongate. It's going to try to pull your spine. Not only say pull your spine, but kind of
stretch it out.
Yeah, stretch it out.
Yeah.
So,
and lastly, the last thing I got for you: how crucial is getting a good night's rest.
Absolutely. That's right next to your diet.
Really?
Sleep is everything. That's when you're going to have your highest HGH or human growth hormone release, and your body that's when your body recovers. And if so, yeah, and I recently just started studying again just to see how important it was, because I was kind of falling back, getting about 6 hours a night. But no, sleep is just, there is a reason you sleep. It's a very important process for the body. So yeah, diet, sleep, train, and then training. I mean, it's just, because if you're not going to recover, what's the point?
How much sleep?
They recommend 7 to 8 hours a night if you can get that. Really, it's like, I know some people, they can literally run just on a few hours of sleep. I don't know if their body's actually recovering. Is that a genetic thing? I don't know. But it's recommended 7 to 8 hours of sleep if you can. So
What is it about sleeping too long that makes you feel like shit? You know?
Guessing. I don't know. I would think it's because when you're sleeping, you're obviously not eating. I think it may be because you went
blood sugar drop, maybe?
Could be. I think it's you went so long without eating that
makes
your
sense.
body's like, no, I got nothing to run on here, so you're gonna make you feel like crap.
Man,
that's just an observation. I don't know but
yeah, that's one of the things I've experienced with keto. Like, you eat high fat because the fat is what keeps you full the longer, right? And when I eat at 12 and I eat at 4, from 4 at night to 12 p.m. the next day is 20 hours.
Yeah.
So I've got to eat a lot of fat, especially at dinner time, to hold me over that entire time. And typically it does fine. But like, say like I play airsoft, right, on the weekends, which is a lot of running, a lot of physical activity
cardio,
for 10 hours.
Yeah.
10 hours straight of just running and running and running. And I'll experience a huge crash to the point where the last time I went out, I almost blacked out. Like,
oh, wow.
I sat down and I was done. So what can I do to prevent that without fucking myself over on carbs? Because, I mean, sugar is carbs at the end of the day.
Right. Well, that's where, as far as we'd mentioned the anabolic diet, where maybe if you're going to do that every weekend, maybe you should eat carbs. Do the carbs and
Carb
protein.
load maybe Friday afternoon, because I play Saturday morning.
Yeah, like do your adjust it to where you're doing your carbs on Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday through Thursday are your keto days. But that's what it is. Your body just, hey, I've got no fuel here, and shut down.
I've read a lot about you're supposed to avoid a lot of strenuous cardio on keto, because when your heart gets pumping and you get to doing a lot of hard exercise, your liver releases glycogen, right?
If it has glycogen stored in it, yes.
Right. Well, and your body naturally produces it even if you're not eating any.
Well, if from the protein, glucose is not naturally found in the body, because what it is when you eat glucose, and this is the difference between glucose and fructose. You eat fruit, fructose fills your liver glycogen first and then goes to muscle. Glucose will go to your muscle first and then your liver.
Mm-hmm.
So your liver can hold. That's why people get a fatty liver, because they just keep it filled with sugar and glucose and fructose. But your liver can convert proteins if it needs it through glycogenesis. That's where that sugar is going to come from. It can't naturally just produce sugar.
Well, and also that means you would have to eat like 0 grams and 0 grams of sugar all day, every day, to not have any stored away, right?
Right.
So
you're getting some in your body.
Yeah. So when you exercise like that, your liver releases it to try to give you that spike of blood sugar that you need to carry on. And like I said, usually the crash. Well, I didn't say it actually, so I'll say it now. But usually the crash, I'll play from. We usually start up around 10 a.m. in the morning, and then we stop playing around 7 or 8 when it gets dark. So usually the crash comes around the 5 or 6 p.m. mark. And then that's when it gets real hard. I'll start feeling tired. I'll start feeling sluggish. And I want nothing more than to eat something sugary or to drink like a Coke. And like that's what my body's screaming for. I'm listening to
energy,
it. Right. But I also don't want to kick myself out of ketosis and be fucked for a few days. So it's
you may look into just taking some beef jerky or something with you.
I do.
Okay,
I do take beef jerky.
And eating because especially if you're going from now you're running all day. If you're not doing that during the week, so that's a shock to the body itself. It's like, oh my God, it can't. That goes back to that. It can't metabolize your own fat fast enough to keep up with you for your energy, so it's trying to shut you down.
Yeah.
So I would take more with you, more fatty foods or whatever.
I might have to do that. Find like a low carb Coke or something and pack it, because I drink a lot of Powerade Zero. Yeah. Which has plenty of electrolytes to keep me going.
I think the G2 Gatorade, you'll have to check, and again check it as far as the serving size, and maybe just one of those small ones. I think that's typically around 12, maybe 20, something like that. So something like that. It would be a
Sounds
quick.
about
It'd
right.
be
I
a
know
quick
one of the
digesting.
big Gatorades are awful.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, those
Yeah.
things have so much sugar.
Yeah, the G2 I think is the lower.
They do.
sugar.
Have you seen them?
It's like 48 grams.
It's more than that.
Yeah,
It's
and one of the
like-
big ones.
I'm talking about the big one. Yeah,
yeah,
the big ones.
60
yeah.
to 70. Ooh,
Yeah,
if not
they've got
more.
a ton.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
So it might be worth looking into that. That's
Okay.
and you recognize that's what your body's saying. Like, hey, buddy, we got to shut you down.
Yeah,
We don't have any
and it
fuel
happens
here.
like that, man.
Yeah.
Within 30 minutes, done.
Yeah.
But all right, man. What do you have anything else for him, Chase?
I mean, other than appreciation for you coming in
Glad to
and,
be here.
talking
Thanks
to us,
for having
and,
me come here.
you know, kind of shedding some light on some really. I mean, how long? This is one thing I do want to ask you before you get out of here. How long do you think it took you to get comfortable with your knowledge in the fitness area, like as far as like your nutrition? How long was it before you were like? I was like, I kind of understand, have a general grasp. When you walk in the grocery store, I know what I really should get, you know. And the same thing with like the gym. How long until you got into the gym and you've been there for however long, where you felt, you know, you had
I've got this.
a blueprint in your head, you know.
It developed over time, and I will say this, and I think everybody does this. Everybody who's been working out, or I'd say you've been working out 5 minutes, everybody's an expert. You know, so and I went through that too. I was like, "Oh, well, you're doing that wrong," when I was the one doing it wrong. Mm-hmm. But it come through the time of learning, the years of learning and studying, to like, wow, I really didn't know crap. That's what I wonder now, as far as, because the information is constantly evolving.
Right.
10 years from now, I may look back and like, my God, look at this podcast, like, look, y'all need to take that off the internet. I was completely wrong. You know? So, but it just come to the point that it's just through enough studying and talking to enough people, you just. Okay. Oh, yeah, I get it. And plus, too, as far as seeing it in your own body. There's a difference between talking about it and actually doing it. So that's why, like, some of the personal trainers, if you look like crap, you're not living it, why would I listen to you? Yeah. And you may legitimately know. There are personal trainers completely out of shape. They have the head knowledge. But, like, okay, if you can't live it,
that's only
why
half
should I live?
Yeah.
Why should I listen to you? That's why I talk to professional bodybuilders, you know, and they're the ones, they're living it. Hey, yeah, this works. So. Mm-hmm. So yeah, as far as answering your question, as far as getting comfortable with it, yeah, the first 5 minutes in, like, hey, I got this, you know. But no, but over time, I'm more humble, and you could tell the difference between the ones that are new in it, because they want to correct everybody in the gym. Like I said, they've been there 5 minutes and they're ready to train everybody there. Like, look, you know nothing, you know. So. But like me, I just sit back and I would see people do the silly stuff. I just laugh. Unless it's somebody I know, like, hey, bro, let's do something different here. But other than that, I just sit back. Hey, enjoy your shoulder injury, sir. You know. Yeah. So maybe that's a jerk way today, but I don't want to be that guy too, because people don't like that guy. Oh, let me show you how you're doing it wrong. You know, nobody wants that. You know it all. You know. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh yeah, man. Mm-hmm. Well, hey, thanks for coming in.
I'm glad to be here.
And. Yeah, dude.
I'm going to cheeseburger now. I might get some of those Arby's loaded fries you're talking about.
Oh, they are so. Don't even get me thinking about them.
I'll send you a picture.
No. All right, on that note.
I won't do that.
On that note, we're done. See you guys later.
Thanks, guys.